From expensive shoes to wristwatches, jewelries, cars, and even down to crazy outfits, these stars just know how to bring the heat. NBA legends have been known to go extreme when it comes to spending all their hard-earned money. And guess what? Most times, they just buy some of the craziest gadgets or toys anyone can imagine. And these don't come any chap at all? Imagine spending over $4 million just to own a pair of shoes. Surprised? There's even more. One NBA legend decided to spend $500,000 on what? Surviving a zombie apocalypse. Another one decided he wanted to be a vigilante like Batman and had his Batcave installed. As crazy as all of these might seem, they are real. Come on along as we check out some of the stupidly expensive things owned by NBA legends. The Jeweler. I'm pretty sure you all know who Allen Iverson is. This guy was the reason the NBA had to enforce a rule on how basketball players dressed for games. Why? He was a bad influence when it came to showing off what he had, and he played it to the hilt. This guy was known to have so much jewelry around his neck every single time he stepped out of his house. Not just chains. He also had lots of watches and blings and whatever you want to think of. He had spent millions of dollars on rocks alone, and despite his bad taste, he just couldn't stop. Until he became financially incapable, that is. Iverson's pieces of jewelry cost millions of dollars, but a lot of them turned out to be useless to him later on. To think he actually believed he could have bounced back with so much jewelry, unfortunately, Iverson never did. Vehicular retake. This guy went the extra mile just to make sure he was on this list. Why? He's the guy who built an SUV that could survive anything. J.R. Smith made up to $20 million, and guess what he did? He decided to spend $500,000 building an armored military vehicle straight out of GTA. With indestructible tires, bulletproof glasses, and armor that could survive a considerable amount of kill shots, this vehicle could also withstand an RPG and, wait for it, a zombie apocalypse. The SUV is one of many vehicles in the world that are capable of surviving a military ambush. Maybe JR has some unknown enemies or something. And I wonder why he still has security details if he has a car like this. Like, dude, you're almost indestructible. JR's SUV was said to be a vehicle that was able to survive anything. Who knows what this guy was thinking anyway? Like, are you at war with someone? Why build a car like this? However you choose to think about it, JR probably thought he needed protection and decided to get himself something that could do just that. And it's just stupidly expensive to us. The Lion Gatekeeper. Lebron James is no stranger to the NBA. Man has been around for so long that he built a fortune of his own playing the game. And guess what? Looks like he's just getting started. LeBron's been known to have a $10 million car collection, a mansion that's worth over $20 million, and 2 of 23 LeBron rookie cards available in the world. But that's just the tip of the iceberg for this NBA legend. LeBron has been known to hang out with rappers and musicians lately, and their influence is telling on him already. LeBron recently acquired a Lion Gatekeeper pendant that's covered in gold and diamonds. I know this sounds like what other players do easily, but here's what you should know about the pendant. It's 14 karat gold, 35 karat diamond, and guess what? The lion pendant has glowing eyes. That's some very expensive piece of jewelry you don't see every day. LeBron also has a whole lot of other rocks that you probably wouldn't believe until you saw them. His jewelry collection also comes with an 11-diamond custom-made grill for his teeth. He also has exclusive watches that are way too expensive for anyone to own. Some of these watches are so expensive that only a few people have them. And that's just LeBron doing his thing. Crazy expensive, right? Most definitely. The Lining Way of Wade 4s. Some people think spending $200 on a pie of Jordans might just be a little too expensive for them. Well, try $4 million. Dwayne Wade takes the crazy out of crazies when it comes to expensive things NBA legends own. This guy just has his security details numbering up to 24 guys, and his garage is lined up with Lambos, an exclusive Mercedes Maybach with interiors made from basketball leathers for his birthday, and other expensive cars. But his latest collection of expensive things would leave you awed. This pair of shoes are covered in sapphires, diamonds, and 18-karat gold. Whoops! The shoes take the Chinese New Year into detail for coloring. It's also customized with Wade's name in gold. So, to make sure he doesn't get mobbed or worse for it, Wade hired security to protect him each time he's out. I mean, that's crazy, but hey, it's one of the stupidest expensive things NBA legends own. Almost went out in luxury. Steph Curry lives for action. On the pitch, his love for the game is basically what makes it enjoyable for all of his fans. Off the pitch, Steph loves fast cars, and this is quite evident in his collection of speed cars ranging from custom-made Rovers to G-Wagons and some other stupidly expensive cars. He also acquired a 175K Porsche 911 Turbo that runs faster than the wind on his back. To top it up, he also copped a black Porsche Panamera for 180K. Fast cars, fast life, or something like that. Steph Curry would later come to know that his car might just have cost him his life. On a good day in 2018, he set out in his Panamera for some driving time. Soon enough, things got worse as the weather changed and began to pour. Steph decided it was safe to just stay in his lane and try to maintain visibility. Out of nowhere, he got hit by a white Lexus. The car got out of control and Steph was caught in the guardrails. He knew he was in danger in the middle of the road and things could get very complicated quickly. But what happened next wasn't what he was prepared for. Another car came up and got him by the rear end. For anyone, that was an accident that could have claimed their life. But for Curry, it turned out to be a miracle. Man came out with a single scratch. The car was totaled, but hey, Steph was up and doing. It was more of a miracle to have survived in one of his own stupidly expensive cars. Really miraculous, that one. Steph should probably have stopped for a while, but no. He's still got the energy to take his cars out for a few runs whenever he feels like. Well, you can't have so much cars with huge speeds and not want to hit the road often. Batman's doppelganger. Danny Granger wanted to do something very expensive and decided to build himself a Batcave. You didn't hear that wrongly. Man did build a Batcave in his house. According to him, it costs a lot and at that time, it was still in process. Granger did confess to loving some superhero stuff and yes, he believed it was some sort of feature that allowed his car to come up the same way the superhero Vigilante's car did. It's very interesting to note that while this was a stupidly expensive purchase, it was also worth the effort. At least, Granger got to live his dreams. This might sound stupidly expensive, but what about our next guy? A plane that never left the ground. Buying a private jet is no big deal. Like, superstars do it all the time. But for Scott Pippen, things turned out different after he purchased his own $4 million plane. The good news is, it's expensive and showed class. Bad news? It's stupidly expensive because it wouldn't fly. Scotty spent $1 million trying to get this baby to get up there in the air, but guess what? It never happened. Now that's one way to make it into the list of stupidly expensive things anyone can ever imagine. Scotty probably spent nights wondering how he got it wrong and why this plane would never leave the ground. He must have done his possible best to save face as well. But no matter what, it just wouldn't fly. Not only was this a stupidly expensive purchase, it was also wrecking. And we have no doubts that Scotty would have learnt his lesson the hard way. The biggest shark. Shaq O'Neal is no one's mate when it comes to car collections in the NBA. Man's got Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Cadillacs, Escalades, and so many other cars too many to mention. Shaq's life is mostly built around so much luxury and expensive things that it would make anyone wonder if this guy is ever going to stop. But this one isn't about Shaq. It's actually about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has the most expensive yacht among NBA players, an $80 million yacht. It's being dubbed as the traveling mansion because there are many side yachts in the world, but this one just knocks some out of the equation. Holy moly! This beauty is one of the numerous other babies that allow him to travel all over the world. He's also got a branded private jet that costs $61 million. It's got so many cool features that are amazingly different from others. The jet is customized with Jordan's initials, and that was all we thought there was. But no. The interior speaks of luxury. The bar, the expensive cocktails, and all the other designs inside this jet make it one of the most stupidly expensive things in the world. When it comes to living the good life, I'm not sure anyone does it better than Michael Jordan. His style is way too expensive for anyone to want to copy. The question is, why go to so much length to show off? It's a whole new level of stupidly expensive because why spend so much money on one private jet? But hey, who can blame anyone for how they choose to spend their money?